Hi guys, welcome to another trip down memory lane. This time we're going to be taking a look at another game close to my heart and the beginning of my sim racing journey, and that is Network Q RAC Rally Championship. This was my first rally experience on PC, and it's something that fostered my love for that particular formula. It might not be as good a simulation as Grand Prix 2 was at the time, but it still has a special place in my heart. So let's go talk about it for a little bit. Sadly, whilst Rally Championship was a big box game, and I do have the big box for it, it's pretty sparse in comparison to most of the simulators of the day. Grand Prix 2 had this huge manual with lots of details, and you don't really have that in Network Q RAC Rally. In fact, all you have is the CD-ROM in a CD case. Quick correction here that I spotted in post. Network Q RAC Rally does have a instruction manual, and the instruction manual is pretty good. It shows you the vehicles that you'd be playing with, and also it shows you the stages of the rally, which you can find in the menu itself too, but I thought I should make that correction in the video so I'm not misinforming anyone that's looking for this game. Okay, back to the video. It does, however, have a menu system which has some of the things that you value from a manual. So things like the stage details and driver information and a little bit of detail on the cars. Some of those menu items to today's standards, not so great. But back in the 90s, as we're talking about here, it was pretty good. I still think GP2 was better, but this was definitely up there when it comes to the menu system. Now we all know what makes and breaks an actual sim, and that is the racing experience. Racing in this game, I would have to say, is quite simcady. It's very much a corridor racer. You have quite nice scenery around you, but you cannot really get out of the track limits. You can play Championship, which run you through all of the stages of the real rally, and that was a little bit more of a simulation experience. Or you could play multiplayer and quick racing, and that was you pitted against other drivers, whether they're AI or your friends, and the cars would all be on the track at the same time. That, in my mind, was a bit of an odd choice, and it made it feel a much more arcade experience in multiplayer. Pace notes in this game were a simple affair. However, having real sample audio from a co-pilot really gave you that level of immersion that most other titles missed. Weather effects were also pretty decent for a game of this era. The cockpit in here was quite obviously a low-res render or photo, but at the time it was pretty decent. And when you were coupling this with an old-fashioned screen, it didn't look bad. On today's hardware, it looks pretty ropey, to be honest, and doesn't age quite as well as GP2. Yes, there probably are better retro rally games out there, and I'm sure I'll talk about a few of those on our memory lane journey. What this game did for me, though, is it gave me that spark of interest in rally. This was around the time that Colin McRae was racing, Richard Burns, and in the UK, rally was taking off in a big way. So to be able to recreate what my idols were doing on a virtual environment was phenomenal. It's a shame this game only focuses on a single rally, and the car selection is, let's face it, a tad limited. But what it did at the time, it did well. And for me at least, I will remember it fondly because of that. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. It'll help people like you to find this content. If you like what I'm doing on this channel, don't forget to support me by subscribing, and there's also a merch store which is available in the description below. Until next time guys, goodbye for now.